When you sign up for a social media account, once you've established your username and profile, what's one of the first things you do? Choose a profile picture. Well, in 1776, after the Declaration of Independence was signed, what was one of the first things the Founding Fathers wanted to do? Establish a national seal, basically the profile picture of the United States. But it's not like they could just grab ye old selfie stick and pose for a picture. They wanted something strong, a symbol of America's fortitude and pride. I'm your host, Emily Prokop, and this is the story behind America's bald eagle. But first, a quick message. If you've listened to the story behind for a while now, you probably have some awesome trivia saved up, ready to fire off whenever the subject of things like bubblegum, potato chips, or tattoos come up in conversation. Show off your trivia buff status with some gear from the story behind at our Story Behind TeePublic store, where you can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, onesies, mugs, and even a notebook to keep track of all the fun facts you come across during the day. What, am I the only person who does that? Visit thestorybehindpodcast.com/gear to check it out. Don't want to pay for it? I'll also be doing gear giveaways in the Story Behind discussion group on Facebook, so make sure you join. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams were tasked with the job of coming up with America's seal. Now you may be thinking, yeah, Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey, and thank goodness they shut him down because turkeys are ridiculous. But that's not actually what happened. In fact, Franklin came up with a design featuring the drowning of the Pharaoh in the Red Sea from Exodus in the Bible. Jefferson submitted a similar theme of the children of Israel in the wilderness, followed by a cloud and a pillar of fire. And Adams took a different route, proposing a painting of Hercules at a crossroads of choosing, quote, the flowery path of self-indulgence, or the rugged uphill way of duty to others. Eventually, the three went with Franklin's design to submit to the Continental Congress, but it was rejected. Two more committees were formed in the following years, but again, those designs were also rejected. Congress Secretary Charles Thomson was given the task to come up with something in 1782. Thomson was known as the Samuel Adams of Philadelphia. Quick history refresher. Samuel Adams, although probably most known for the beer named in his honor, was at the helm of the Boston Tea Party in 1773. Thomson considered the three previous committees' proposals for the national seal and decided to go with the eagle, a symbol of strength. He was by no means a gifted artist and had a lawyer by the name of William Barton create the design. Barton originally used a small white eagle, but Thomson suggested he replace it with a bald eagle instead. When Congress approved the design, it went on to grace the currency, flags, and other government-related items. So where did the idea of Ben Franklin's turkey come from? I'm sure I'm not the only one who remembers a skit on Sesame Street in which Ben Franklin, portrayed by Telly Monster, proposes the turkey.
Thank you, sir. Well, maybe you won't agree, and who knows, but I think our new national bird should be the turkey.
Turkey?
That's right, the turkey. And I'll tell you why. The turkey was here to welcome our pilgrim forefathers when they first got here. But most important, well, I think turkeys are nice.
Oh, no, you can always... I like turkey. I like the drumstick.
We don't want any turkey.
Going back to the analogy of social media, have you ever written something meant to be sarcastic or hyperbolic online and had people take it seriously? That's what happened when historians got a hold of the letter Ben Franklin wrote to his daughter 2 years after the adoption of the eagle, when he threw the idea of a turkey out to her hypothetically as a much more respectable bird. He observed the eagle being chased by smaller birds who were protecting their young and called the eagle
a bird of bad moral character.
But this letter was written 2 years after the eagle had been formally adopted. And it was written because of Franklin's doubts about using the eagle on the badge of the newly formed Society of the Cincinnati Medal, made up of Revolutionary War officers. And Franklin mused the symbol was fashioned more to look like a turkey than an eagle. But even before the eagle was proposed, before the Declaration was even written, Franklin wrote a letter published by the Pennsylvania Journal, suggesting the rattlesnake as the symbol for America.
The poison of her teeth is the necessary means of digesting her food. and at the same time is certain destruction to her enemies. This may be understood to intimate that those things which are destructive to our enemies may be to us not only harmless, but absolutely necessary to our existence. I confess I was wholly at a loss what to make of the rattles, till I went back and counted them and found them just 13, exactly the number of the colonies united in America, and I recollected too that this was the only part of the snake which increased in numbers.
The snake was already used on the drums of the Marines with the motto, "Don't tread on me," and in 1778, the rattlesnake was used on Georgia currency with the motto, "No one will provoke me with impunity." But in the end, neither the turkey nor the snake were formally proposed as a symbol for the national seal. And other animals that didn't make the final cut included the rooster and the dove. Did you ever hear the idea of an eagle's head on America's seal being modified during wartime? It was most notably referenced in the Season 1 finale of The West Wing. Also, thanks to Glenn in the Story Behind discussion group on Facebook for helping me out with that bit of trivia. But this is in fact false. The seal has undergone a number of changes since the original, including President Wilson changing the direction of the head to face the right around the same time as World War I. President Truman's modification following World War II included turning the eagle's head to face its right, the direction of honor, and toward the symbol of peace, the olive branch clutched in its talons. In the press release issued, it mentioned the former direction of the eagle's head being toward the talon with the arrows, symbolic of war. Because these two changes occurred during a war and then following a war, somehow the rumor got started that the eagle's head was indicative of wartime or peacetime. One more thing about the bald eagle. Because of factors like habitat destruction and hunting, the number of bald eagles began to dwindle between the late 1800s and 1940, until Congress passed the Bald Eagle Protection Act, making it illegal to possess, kill, or sell them. Even with the act in place, DDT-contaminated prey threatened the eagles even more. Once federal regulations were put in place to protect the eagles, as well as regulate the use of DDT, the eagle went from endangered to threatened in 1995 and was finally removed from the list completely in 2007. The role of Benjamin Franklin was played by Paul Csomo, co-host of the Varmints podcast at blazingcariboustudios.com. Information for this episode was sourced from greatseal.com, Snopes.com, the National Wildlife Federation, and more links which can be found in the show notes at thestorybehindpodcast.com. Want to talk more about this episode or past episodes of The Story Behind? Join the Facebook group by clicking on the link in the show notes or by going to bit.ly/TSB Facebook. Thanks for listening.